Hi, I'm John Perkins.
And I'm Craig Bell. Hey, John, the one thing that never changes in life is the truth of the statement that everything changes.
Yeah.
I mean, everything changes.
Yeah.
Nothing stays the same.
Food for the soul, helping you thrive. 5 minutes to renew your mind. Take 5.
About 50 years ago, the three most prestigious automobiles in the country were the Pierce Arrow, the Peerless, and the Packard. Do you own any of those, John?
I don't think so.
Of the 2,700 different domestic automobile nameplates that have been registered in the U.S. since 1893, fewer than 24 remain. It's changed that much. Time has passed. The others have gone by the wayside. New ones have been built. Life changes, doesn't it?
Yes.
Nothing stays the same in life. But with that thought in mind, there is one thing that is the same, and that's the God that we serve.
Yes. Craig, I was reading this morning in Joshua in chapter number 1 how Moses had died. And man, that was a big change for the children of Israel.
Oh, yeah. And Moses was the leader, so it was a leadership switch. Well, I mean, we're in a political season this year where we're looking at changing, leadership in different levels of government. This was a leadership change for them. And Moses was such a great leader. It was devastating change, I'm sure.
Okay, we look in verse 6. It says, "Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shall thou divide us an inheritance, the land which I sware unto our fathers to give them." So he's telling them, the things that I've promised your fathers, I'm going to promise to you. I'm just going to still be God. I'm going to still give you the things that I've promised unto your fathers.
Why do you think he told them, John, to be strong and courageous, of good courage?
I think it was a discouraging time. I think they thought so highly of Moses that now that Moses is dead, who's going to be the leader? Who's going to lead the children? Who's going to speak to God on our behalf?
And I think it was a scary time because change is scary. One thing that we don't like as humans is change. We really don't adapt well to change. And it was a scary time when Moses had passed and the new leader was stepping up, and God's encouraging them, be strong through this change, be courageous through this change. And that's certainly a word for us today in changes of life that we go through. They can be difficult. Be strong, be of good courage. God's got your back through this.
He tells them again in verse 7, "Only be thou strong and very courageous." And he tells them in verse 9 that this book, the law, shall not depart out of my mouth. So he's saying, your leader might be gone, Moses is dead, but my word is still the same.
Mm-hmm. And he told them that be strong message in verse 6, verse 7, verse 9, verse 18. It's like he's trying to get this point through. Be strong and courageous, be strong and courageous, be strong. Hang on. It's tough. I know it's tough, but hang on.
Again, he says in Joshua chapter 3 and verse 7, "And the Lord said unto Joshua, This day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so will I be with thee." Now he's beginning to have a new leader, beginning to have somebody else that the people can trust in. And he said, as I have done these great things to Moses, I'm going to do it for you.
Yeah.
And as I was with Moses, so will I be with you.
John, we're in a season of change where the dead comes back to life. I love springtime because the things that had died spring back to life. And we're also in a season of change with this eclipse coming up. I guess everybody's heard about the eclipse in Indiana, where our studios are. It's going to be a pretty big deal here in Indiana.
Yeah.
The changing of the solar system as it passes through. But, while we're in the middle of everything changing around us and life changing, it's just encouraging to know that God will remain with us. Be strong and courageous. God never changes.
Yeah. He said he would never leave you nor forsake you, but he said, I will be with you until the end of the world.